Being a mountain kid is definitely something very special. Simply the definition of a mountain, let's say you go up, you go down. And when you are a kid, the going down is the thing that you focus on. It's all those things where who makes the first turn admits defeat. My name is Jean-Luc Diard. I'm the co-founder of HOKA, and I'm currently the VP of Innovation at Deckers Group. I grew up in the ski resort of Tignes Val d'Isère, which is, I said, a very high altitude resort. And I grew up at a time when winter sport was also booming.
We were, without knowing it, like neighbors. My name is Nicolas Mermoud, and I am one of the two founders of HOKA. We're here in Les Contamines in Haute-Savoie, the place where I grew up. We have history with our families, especially our fathers, very connected to the professional world of skiing and mountaineering. I think the copyright on Mountain Kid belongs to Jean-Luc, but it absolutely applies to the two of us.
I met Nico through a ski race. That was at a time when we were looking for new people to join the company that I was working with.
I was a student. I talked to him and I said, I have a couple more years at school and I would love to work for your company. And he said, yeah, just give me a call when you graduated. And that's what I did. The very initial impressions were, I would say the number one was a lot of joy. Enjoying not ever taking ourselves too seriously, trying to spend time solving problems.
We did a lot of just work and also ski equipment testing. And from there on, in our free time, we started to do bike riding together, we started to do running together. You could discover into the outdoors a multitude of things.
We have a very, very deep passion for the outdoors and nature. It also means we have a very strong passion for speed. UTMB 2007. I led the race for about 16 hours out of 21 and faded and came to third place while Jean-Luc was crewing me. What was obvious is that if you're running your hardest and having the most fun for 16 hours without protection with your footwear, your legs would be dead. And that was very clear. This idea of running on some very specific type of element or terrain, anything which would be soft and would make you feel like you're on a flying carpet, got us to the idea that maybe a technology could reproduce these amazing sensations like you do in skiing, like you do in surfing, like you do in mountain biking, that you could glide and roll and fly down the mountains and feeling less shocks when you're running and you're pounding the ground at each step.
And we had that idea, how cool would it be to create something from scratch and to say, hey, let's give it a try. A note I wrote in the former company, and I called it XXXL, which meant both extra, extra, extra light and extra, extra, extra large. Every piece of equipment had evolved in that direction.
Oversized products have reshaped pretty much every industry. They have been extremely powerful in golfing. It's the same with tennis rackets. It's the same with the skis.
Every time there was something that could become bigger but lighter at the same time, usually you gained in addition in performance, and you gain also in versatility and tolerance. Too many people did not like running because it was felt as being really hard on the body. We're looking at things differently and looking at the footwear not as an extension of your foot, but as a piece of equipment between you and the ground. That was the way of thinking. So we said, there is the opportunity. First, you set yourself a target that is ambitious. You're not there to make a progress by 5%, not trying to make that 10% better, 20% better. Can we make it 100% better?
The first day we got the very, very first prototypes. We were too excited to wait and start shaping. So we went to test the product out of the box. It seemed very quickly, based on the first test we did, it seemed almost too good to be true.
Immediately there was a different feel. Christophe, a member of the team also, then said, well, let's clock the time because we have that feeling, but can we measure it? And then by clocking the time, they saw that they were much faster without trying to be faster. You challenge some technologies, you challenge some beliefs of athletes, many things that have been established through the years, and people don't like the unknown.
Being two entrepreneurs from France with a very crazy idea, the most critical thing was to be taken seriously.
The number of people that say to you that this is the most stupid idea on earth, and that it has no future, and that's not the trend, and why are you doing so, etc. So it's one thing to have one person, two person, but when you have just a lot of people repeating it, there's always a few moments where you re-ask yourself the question, are we really on the right track?
When you turn into an entrepreneur, when you create a startup, you know you're going to go all the way, and you're going to make it better, you're going to make it grow, you're going to steer it in the right direction. Pretty much everything happened in 2010. We went to our first trade show. We got some orders from some of the most famous retailers, including Boulder Running Company, Mark Plages, Johnny Halberstadt. We met athletes in the trail running world, such as Diana Finkel or Karl Melzer.
We had people who bought our shoes that we didn't know, and they started racing with it, and they started winning. All those things started to spread the word of mouth gradually that there were things happening.
I identified with one client, advice. This client, Boulder Running Company, wrote to the Dakers, outdoor corporation, sent some shoes. A couple of months later, I think Jean-Luc went to visit them and they decided to help us. But overcame like a lot of the early hurdles and challenges.
You can't get things only by yourself. You need a team to make it happen. We had a phenomenal team across different, let's say, areas that were equally enthusiastic, that wanted this adventure to work.
There's a sense of authenticity and working on stuff that works. And French people can be a little bit rebel or rebellious. They have a very special creativity, which is to question like what's existing and try to come up with something different.
You have to be a bit crazy to start with, but you're driven by what's the next dream, what's the next thing that at least you want to try once.
I still have a hard time realizing and understanding we did this. I'm looking forward to professionally is to share this experience. It's an amazing experience and can inspire people.
Mountain people are known to help each other very well. You lead people to enjoy things that they had never experienced before. When you see that happening on people's face, it is the best reward you can get. To say that you have been there to do something. One of the goals that I have toward HOKA, to help the brand move to the next generation of footwear. Through doing so, trying to learn people, let's say, how to make some of the things happen.